We're chilling, man.
Yeah.
This is not very peppy. We need
I
something
think it builds though, right? It kind of
I
builds.
hope so. I don't know. I don't like it. This is better.
There we go. That's a lot better.
All right. No one wants to hear our music.
But maybe they do. We got one watcher that does. So.
All right, everybody. We are going to be, I'm like so excited. So one of our students has been making waves, and she had a channel. She had a channel that she had for years on YouTube, and she was using it for a real estate business. She had some success, but she wasn't getting the success that she really wanted. Once she went through Joe and I's course, she decided, I'm going to switch gears and I'm starting all fresh. And she started with a brand new channel, which is a very scary thought for a lot of people, because they're like, it took me, 3 years to get, 4,000 subscribers. Like, this is going to, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, you feel like you're abandoning ship, or you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. But she took the brave decision to start brand new, and it was probably the best decision she's ever made. And I'm so excited to invite my friend on stage, Jen Sylvester. Yeah.
Hey, Jen.
What's happening? How you doing? What's up, guys?
What is up? What is up? I'm so glad to see you. And I'm so happy that you're here to share some of your knowledge of what you've learned since you started your channel. So when did you start your newest channel?
February 26th.
February 26th.
Yep.
Of this year?
Of this year. Yep.
Wow.
February 26th of this year. So what's that? I can't do double math. What's that? 4 months?
6 months.
Well, 4 months. March, April, May, June, July, about 5 months.
5 months.
5
Yeah.
months.
Four and a half. So yeah. Not that long ago.
So I have to ask you, when you launched your new channel, were you nervous about it? Did you have any reservations? What made you go to that decision to start a whole new channel?
Well, I mean, the thing of it is like, so I took the course when it first came out, when you guys opened up the course. It was a year ago, that prior, February 23.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went through the course and retook the course, because you guys offer the, at the time you could go through it a couple of times. And then I had to take a break, personal stuff, and for a few months, and family stuff. And then I came back. And so it was like, September, October, November, December, January, planning, tons and tons of planning. And I think the thing that I was most nervous about was the fact that I had all this planning done, and then it was going to flop. And I was going to get no traction, and nothing was going to happen. And it was, and that was it. I'm still getting to this day leads from my old channel. I haven't done anything with my old local channel, zip, in like a year and a half. And not a lot, I'm not looking for a lot, but I probably have about, I think I got 3 leads so far this year of people wanting to move into my area, which I'm totally fine with. But, I was just nervous that all that work was going to go to waste, and that I wasn't going to be on the right track, and I wasn't doing the things that I was supposed to do the proper way.
So it sounds to me like because what we teach is you actually have to make a bunch of content, and then you have to decide if you're going to start a new channel or you're going to relaunch your old channel. And you opted in to start a new channel, and then you did all this work, and then it was like, oh, I just did all this. Is this really going to work?
I had 7 videos. I had 7 videos filmed, ready to go in the can when I launched on the 26th. So I could be a little bit of ahead, because the way you guys teach it, you're doing 5 in the course of a week and a half right out of the gate. And so, I was prepared. And it was a lot, because I scrutinized every little thing, and being a little, particular, the details mattered. Like that's, the way my brain looks, I'm looking at every single detail of everything, and, scrutinizing it. And so it was a ton of work, and it's only built from there.
It's a little different. It's a little different stress though now.
Like, whoa.
So you have a whole new stress now, though. What is your newest stress?
It's just managing. It's adjusting. I hate using this phrase, but there's no other phrase to use to describe it. It's just adjusting to the new normal. This is the new normal. The new normal of, continually researching, continually making good content, doing live streams weekly, and dealing with all the influx of referral leads that I've got to connect with. I have conversations with everyone that asks, that submits a referral form, and then having to do the research and vet out and look for the right agents, and then connect the agents and do all the paperwork and all the things. So it's just, that's the new, and on top of, I've got to eat because I'm a single mom. So like, there's no other income coming in. So I've got to put food on the table. So there's like the regular real estate business. Oh yeah. And then I have like a house that needs stuff, and adult kids, which are harder than young kids at times. And, but it's just adjusting right now. It's just getting in the groove of juggling all of that, and being okay with not getting everything done every day. That's just the way it is. You just prioritize. So that's a big thing.
So I have a question for you. So what was the catalyst that actually made you do what we're talking about? Like, because you'd gone through the course, and you understood it. You were like, yeah, I'm there. And then you had some stuff come up, but like really, because I feel like a lot of agents can relate to this, right? Like where they get all motivated doing something, and then something happens, or they get busy with work, and then it gets put on the shelf. But like, what was it? When did you, like, what was that catalyst, and what did you decide to do?
So, I mean, it's going to be like, I think it's identifying exactly why I wanted to do it in the first place, and having that pressure point. Knowing that my personal goal is to do this full time, and to be a referral agent, and I've been out in the field selling real estate for 28 years. And I want to get out of the field. I want to show houses. I want to do this as full time. And this is not going to come overnight. I'm not going to just do it and then I'll be able to flip the switch and do it. So I've got to start somewhere. So if I'm being completely honest, Joe, and this is nothing to do with any of the stuff we're talking about. I turned 50 2 years ago. And as soon as I turned 50, it was like this urgency of like, I ain't getting any younger. I need to do this now. And I get a chance, and I had to be brave, and I just have to just put, just step off and see what happens. And what's the worst thing that could happen? But I had to go all in because it's hard. It's really hard. And it's, the challenge, you talk about challenges, it's great to have traffic. It's great to have views and coming, people coming on your channel, but then you have to deal with, and some people come in and they comment and make nice comments and supportive. And then you've got this barrage of people that aren't so nice. And you've got to be like extra strong to be like power through that and just put the blinders on. And so it's like different levels of strength and focus to continually remind myself, like, the reason why I want to do this, the goal is to go full time. The goal is to do this as a serious business. So I repeatedly told myself, I'm working 2 jobs. I'm working 2 jobs. Yep. That's the end of the story. This is what do I do for a living? I'm a real estate agent and I'm a YouTuber. And that's what I do for, that's what I do for a living. Right now, only one, well, I shouldn't say that one pays, because one is paying now, monetized and all things, and referrals, referrals eventually will come in. But, that was the big thing. But I think it's deeply personal. I think that people, I think agents that, if you go into it like you're just going to sign up for a subscription, or sign up for like a Zillow preferred agent, and you just want the leads, that's not enough desire. You got to really want to produce content. I really want to help people. I have so much, so many different experiential, knowledge that, that I've gone through, and I have a strong opinion on a lot of things. And I just, you think?
Not you.
Yeah. You didn't know that about me, did you?
No.
But I think it's just like that for me personally, having that really deep desire to just want to help people. It's not, the leads are the byproduct of the first thing, which is good content that helps people. You put good stuff out, the leads come organically.
Amen. And that is one of those things that people don't realize, is that if you really put the effort into the content, the leads will come. You know,
Right.
when you just spend a moment in the car and you start talking about the real estate market, and you don't really, you're kind of like, it's a last minute thing. You're not going to get the same kind of success as somebody that puts the time in.
No, I spend hours researching the videos. I spend, you have to get to the point of figuring out what is the right content for my audience, right? You figure out, you get laser focus on who your audience is, and the more content you put out and the more traction you have in your channel, the clearer it is on who you're actually talking to, and, you get laser focused and you spend time figuring out the content. And then once I know the idea, like that's what I did this afternoon. I know the idea of what, for my next video. Now I have my inspiration video. Now I take that and I spent several hours researching, because I want to deliver. I don't want to just take the content from somebody else's video and repackage it and then deliver it in my voice. I want to go deeper, because that's what has been resonating with my audience, is that, my click-through rate has been good, has got them there, but what keeps them there is good content, right? That's it. It was only half the battle. So, it's quality content and wanting to go a little deeper, for sure.
Well, go ahead.
I was going to say, one of the things that I would love to see is as people are watching, if you have questions, please ask a question that Jen can answer. I think that she's dropping a lot of really good information, but everybody's in a different part of their YouTube journey. And so if you do have questions, like let's ask those.
So Andy I just read that. I used to edit on my old channel. I edited everything myself. And then that was one of the very, very, very difficult decisions that I had to make over last year, is just coming to terms with, I am not going to be able to deliver the level of content that I want to and edit. However, the commission video that I posted, I edited that video myself. I got the version. I was under the gun time-wise. I got the first version back from the editor. It was, to me, it was just not anything I wanted to put on my channel. It wasn't good enough. Someone else may have said, okay, it's fine, but again, good content, quality content. So I pushed everything aside. It was last Thursday. I have to post on Thursday. I spent 10 hours in front of Final Cut Pro editing that thing, pulling my hair out, because it was taking me 10 hours. Not, it was like, I've got so many other things to do right now, but it was just, that was the thing. So I edited. So I know how to edit if I need to, but I absolutely use a professional editor. That being said, I film with the edit in mind, so that, so I'll be filming tomorrow morning. And then after I film it, I'll go through, I'll screen it. Maybe me personally, I chop it up a little bit, take out the pieces that I don't want, but then I also put super detailed notes to my editor, exactly how I want the video to go. So I don't just take it and upload it and okay, see what you can do, because I am now more in tune with what my audience likes. And so I want to be consistent with my message and how they digest information. So I'm editing in my mind, as far as, telling them exactly what I want, to see. But the execution, I let them take care of, because it's just a huge time saver.
I want to ask you dig a little deeper on when you say you film with your edit in mind. Do you film in order, or is it that you've already made notes and that's how you're filming it prior?
Yeah, so I do an outline. I don't do a script. So I have an outline, and when I'm going through that outline, especially like the hook, I spend a ton of time on the hook. So I'll have the exact words. I do script my hook, and then I'll have, the video that I dropped today with the news articles. I actually pulled all the news articles myself, and I told the editor and I gave them the exact timestamp that I want. Maybe a little extreme. This is the way my brain is. And I'm like, this is what I want to see. I gave them the exact, timestamp. So there was one scene where I said, I was talking about the guy's getting a non-renewal notice on his insurance because there's stuff in his yard. And that's what I did. I says, even some people are getting their insurance, non-renewal notices by having too much stuff in their yard, like this guy. And then it went right into the B-roll. So it's like, I already had that in mind. So I would put that link in my outline. So, that's kind of my process. It's like I kind of see how the flow of the video is, to make sure that, again, it's how I want to educate the viewer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you put some emphasis on the hook and how much time you spend on it. A lot of people don't realize
that's important.
You don't get them, and you can't keep them. Yeah. I could have the most awesome edited video, but if the hook stinks, they'll never see it.
Yep.
They'll never see it.
They're gone. Yep. Jennifer asked a really good question. She says, do you get momentum from an inactive channel, or how do you suggest uploading a video to start with and then going forward one per week?
So do you get momentum from an inactive channel? So I followed Joe and Christina's lead. I had an inactive channel. I hadn't posted any videos in about 6 months or plus. Actually, by the time I posted, it was like close to a year. Their advice was to start a new channel as opposed to go back to the old channel. But more importantly, I think it has, from my understanding, it more has to do with your audience. So like my audience is entirely different than my old channel. My old channel was a local channel about my area. My new channel is a national channel about seller content and DIY, improvement content. So, those two don't tie together, so I think you got to look at if your new content matches up with your old content and it's the same audience to see if that makes sense. And then how often do you suggest uploading? How often do you suggest uploading a video to start with and then going forward once a week? Definitely you got to do once a week. No doubt about. I don't think you need to do more than one evergreen video. Evergreen means it's not daily news. It's not, something that's going to be dated. You want to make a video that is something that can be watched a year from now and is still relevant. Okay. Once a week. And then live streams is where you go. That's my approach anyways. Live stream is where I get into the local stuff and what's happening in the now. And I do that once a week. And that has been tremendous with getting traction and interaction with the audience, with the viewers and whatnot. So I don't know. What do you guys have to add about that?
Well, I want to give an example of evergreen too, like something like how to buy a house, of course, much sexier title than that, but the steps in buying a house haven't changed much over the last 10 years. So you could do an evergreen video about how to buy a house. But like you were saying, those newsworthy things like the insurance, that may not look the same a year from now, and the NAR lawsuit, that's not
a time thing. It's going to change.
Right. Although I did, so that brings up a great point. So in that video, because that is part of my housing market playlist, right? Mm-hmm. So in order to try to bring some value to make it a little bit more evergreen, the way I structured the video on the insurance video is I kind of went into, the backstory of like, how do insurance companies work? Mm-hmm. And how does this affect? And, kind of like the basis of how it got to the point of where it is now, because that won't change, going forward. So, to try to add that element, into it, because it's hard not to like the commission thing and stuff. It's hard. I put the commission video out. I'm probably gonna do another one in about 2 weeks anyways, because everything's going to be changing. So,
yeah. So you become a resource to what's happening today, but you're also a resource for any time of year. So that's really good. It's a good strategy to have. So how are you managing your referrals now that they're coming in your leads? What system are you using to manage that?
So I have my CRM. It's a homebrewed CRM. I use a project management software, ClickUp. And so I created my own, but you can do this with any CRM. And the big thing is I created a form in that CRM that, then you have a link, put the link on the old YouTubes. And I have an automated, thank you message. They fill out the link. All that information then goes into my CRM automatically, and I have it all automation so that all the fields are filled in and all the things. So once I receive that, at the same time it does that, it also sends me an email so I don't forget about it. And then I use Gmail and I literally set up a template in Gmail that I copy the email address of the form, from the information that they sent. I send them an email that, thanks for requesting the referral, the agent referral. And I do say this in my videos that you reach out to me and then I'll reach out to you and we'll have a quick phone call so I can be clear on what your needs are. And that's what I do. So in that email response that I manually send is a link to a Google Calendar link. So I set up a Google, it's standard in all Google Calendars. You can set up an appointment schedule, and I just set it up based on my appointment schedule with half-hour slots. So I send it to, so I send that out as quickly as I possibly can. They pick a slot. I get an email telling me when I'm talking to them. I give them a call. We have a conversation, and I'll be honest, these people, they've up to this point, I have not had a conversation that's been over 30 minutes. Usually it's about 20 minutes. And it's just, have you sold a house before? Give me the address. Have you sold a house before? What's your experience been? Quick backstory, and what their pain points are, so that I can understand, what kind of agent. And then I tell them that I'm going to research the agents, and I go into my network and have, sometimes several phone calls. And then I send them a text and I say, hey, I found an agent. And then I send an introduction email to both the agent and the lead, introducing them. And then I tell the lead, I say, hey, if you need anything, you've got my number. You can text me, email me, which I don't hear from them. I haven't heard back from them, but, and then that's it. And then I set up a follow-up, so that in a month, I'll just check in with the agent, check in with the lead, make sure that, that everything's still, going forward and all that kind of stuff. So, that's
I have a question. I have a question really quick. So what is the difference? Because you've been an agent a long time, right? You've done real estate
years.
What is the difference that you've noticed between the way you're generating these leads from YouTube and any other lead generating resource that you've used in your experience in real estate?
So, the thing is, it's just as good as a referral. The lead quality is just as good as a referral. Because
you mean like a referral from like a friend or a family member?
Yes, from a past client. You get a referral from a past client or something, or family member, whatnot. That comes with there's already partial trust built in, to that referral. I'm getting these leads, and this is what they're kind of funny. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm actually talking to." It's because I'm on the YouTubes, whatever. It's kind of funny that it'd be actually. I can't believe I'm actually talking to you in real life, but they very much are just. I had a conversation today with a woman down in Florida who has an agent. And she's like, Jen, I've watched your videos. She's 68 years old. And she says, I've been watching your videos. My agent is not selling my condo. My condo's been on the market for 4 months, 5 months. I want to fire her. Can you help me? And I said, yep. She says, what should I do first? I said, you fire your agent.
Yeah. That's
I'll be in touch, And so it's there's trust already built. There's trust already built.
Yeah, that's pretty much unheard of in any other internet lead that you could get. There's no loyalty at all for buying leads, for any of these other ways. If you don't answer in 5 seconds after they submit a question, they're already gone. So this is completely different. And the biggest reason I think that it works so well is because they've been watching you for a while. You've been consistently providing value to them, and they now know you and trust you. And so now they're like, she knows what she's talking about. So if she knows what she's talking about, she's got to know somebody in this area that could help me.
Yep.
I have a question for you. So you started this 5 months ago. How long did it take you to get that first form to be filled out? How long was it before the first form was ever filled out?
Like 3 weeks.
Really?
3 weeks.
Yeah. 3-4 weeks. Yeah.
Really good.
It was pretty quick. And then it wasn't like a light switch. It was like, I got that one. And then it was a little time, and I'll get another one. And it really has been since June, things have really like started to ramp up. So like I think I have so far for month to date is like 30. So like right now, 30 referral requests. I mean, I'm behind with no joke.
It
It's
brings that whole new sense of other issues, right? It's like not just creating the content, but now it's like, oh, I got all this business I need to take care of.
higher quality problems.
Yep.
Higher quality problems. That's all. Yeah. So it's pretty, I mean, literally like, 15 minutes before we jumped on the live stream, I'm like, and, part of me is like, yay. And part of me is like, oh, it's another one. keep the water, keep going in the boat. Let's go. Keep going. No, it's all good. It's all, it's exciting. It's exciting to start to see the fruits of my labor. And it's exciting to see where it's going to go.
Yeah.
The sky's the limit.
you got lots of blue ocean that you can do. Andy asked a question. This is an interesting one. Our reason is a little bit different, but he says, on your live streams, have you tried different time slots with different results? And then he follows up with, I noticed that Christina and Joe's changed their time slot recently. I'm guessing for more traffic. That's not why we did ours.
No, we were trying to make it so Joe and I have a course for students, and it's live training, and to make it more convenient to them and their schedules, we needed to move that earlier in the day. So we swapped times. So instead of having the live stream at 3:00, we have that for our students, because our students get to talk to us one-on-one, like
it's a Zoom call. We have a Zoom call where they go through the each week we have things that they learn and have questions on, and we cover it. And we just found that because we have students all over the country, that Eastern is really hard if we don't do it earlier. And so we opted to do that.
Yeah, just to make it happy for them.
Yeah.
It actually didn't work out really good for the live stream.
No, actually, yeah. It's like, we're like, oh man, we had like better traction when it was earlier, but it's still good though. Like the thing is that being the key with it is being consistent.
Yeah, I think so. Because I literally started when I launched my channel, I started right out of the gate. Literally, like the week after I launched, I started doing live streams. Christina and Joe said, this is what I need to do. So I said, okay, I think, that's the thing is that, if you're going into, surgery, I was thinking about this earlier. It's like, if you're going into surgery and your surgeon's like, well, I think I want to do this. I think I watched a YouTube video and this is how I think I'm going to do the surgery. How would you feel? Versus a surgeon that has studied and followed proven, strategies and proven results and vetted out results. It's like, of course you're going to go with the second surgeon. You're not going to go with the first guy that says, oh yeah, well, this has worked for one person and so on and so forth. So it's like, okay, so, if you guys are the second surgeon, I just was like, okay, well, you said live stream's the way to build the channel. So like, I guess I just need to do it. And I don't have a problem doing it. So the time, to answer your question, it didn't matter because I didn't really have any traction on my channel. So I just put the time that worked. It just
that can be nerve-wracking for people though. Like they have a brand new channel. They're like, I have no audience yet. How could I live stream?
I'm talking to myself for like an hour.
You know what? So that was the thing that I just kept saying to myself over and over. I'm like, nobody's been watching. So this is just like live practice.
Yeah.
Like live practice. And it was like, okay, well, I talk anyways. Like, so I just hit the live button and just start talking and just, and if one person pops on, and there were quite a few live streams, I had 0 people. And I was like, okay, well, they'll watch it afterwards, maybe. But as time went on, it was, you do need to be intentional in terms of how it lines up with your weekly content. So like my post is on Thursday at 3:00. So I wouldn't do a live stream on Friday. It wouldn't make I wouldn't want to step on the content. I wouldn't want to do it on the same day. So now I do Tuesday live stream, Thursday content. And I'll tell you, I was doing Monday live stream, Wednesday content, and then I moved it. And that was kind of everything kind of, triggered and took off when after I did that, not necessarily because of that, but a culmination of things. But now I'm in a rhythm. So, once I had enough traffic and I could start, and then I got the data to see when people were on, then I adjusted the time. You know,
So
I
that's
just
what you did. You looked at your analytics, and then that's when you knew when to adjust, when to release and do your live stream. That's very important. That's a great tip.
100%, 100%. And, you know, and the other thing too is like, you know, you have these, you know, as you're building up and as people are coming on, I also notice like, oh, if I go on at 5:30, people don't start trickling in until about, you know, 6:15. So I wonder if I started at 6. And it was like, okay, well, if I start at 6, now people are starting to trickle in at 6:20. You know, so it was like, okay, so that was where I needed to be. And it's very interesting because the demographics, my target audience was late millennial, but right now all my demographics point towards 55 plus. And they're very educated on YouTube.
Yep.
But they still prefer evenings because they're super active.
Yeah.
They're not.
And most of them are probably watching on their TV.
So the majority, it's like over 50% of those are being watched on the television.
And I've been saying this. People need to realize that people are turning off the television and turning on YouTube and replacing it. You know, YouTube is now the #1 streaming service. And, you know, like I used to edit for YouTube, but now I edit for television because, I mean, I used to be really crazy with the edits because I was editing it for YouTube viewers. But when they switched over to television viewers, I toned down the amount of editing because, you know, it's not the same. Not the same.
It's not the same. Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same.
I have a question. So with everything that that you've kind of seen, what you've done, like how you've gone through all of this stuff, like, do you feel like that YouTube is oversaturated with agents?
Nope. I don't, because just because you have a whole bunch of people that come to the party doesn't mean they're all going to stand up and actually do the thing. Okay. And the fact that my voice is different than your voice, you know, different than Christina's voice, different than Joe's voice. We could all do the same content and it'll be 3 entirely different videos. And I think that every viewer, I mean, I look at my analytics and I see other videos, other creators that my people are watching, and they're other real estate agents, which is totally fine. You know, I don't care, you know, I'm like, you know, it is what it is, but those agents are totally different. Their content's different. The topic may be same, but the delivery is different. But no, I don't think it's oversaturated. YouTube is a big ocean. There's like a drop. I'm a little tiny cell, not even a guppy tadpole, whatever, you know. And it's just it's you know, more and more people are getting on it every day. I mean, I talked to a woman on Saturday. She's 79 years old, and she was just like, she was on it. She was on it like Donkey Kong. She was like, she knew about you. She was like, you know, very tech savvy. And because it's like, so it's like the world is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And the opportunity is getting bigger and bigger. So I think, honestly, I think that, I mean, of course I'm biased towards video and YouTube. I've been doing like video emails and whatnot for over 10 years. In the climate that we're in now with this whole NAR stuff, the trust factor is being challenged more than ever.
Right.
More than ever, trust is being challenged in our industry. This is the best. There's no question about it. You can't get better than face-to-face. This is the next best thing to being face-to-face. You know, I've had 400, almost 500,000 views at this point. I could never.
Yeah. In 4.5 months.
Yes. Yeah. It's, I know.
4.5 months, almost 500,000 views.
Correct.
That is amazing. Great job.
Yeah.
Great job.
So I'm going to Vid Summit for those that are interested.
Yes.
Go to Vid Summit, man. That's, if you're serious about YouTube, you got to go to Vid Summit. So I set a goal of 10,000 subscribers, but subscribers are a vanity metric anyways, but I want to get 1 million views by, you know, September 3rd. And
you can do that.
You can do it.
Definitely going to do that.
Got it.
You know, the plan is like, how can I possibly get in front of 500,000 people?
Yeah.
Right.
That's a lot of door knocking.
Go door knock 500,000 people?
Think about those people in the stadium.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, but I can do it on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah.
But I can do it on YouTube. And so I just try to show up with my videos as like, just as like we were talking in our geeks meeting, you know, yesterday, just show up as authentic as you possibly can. Just like, you know, just show up so that people can see that and build that trust. And I think that that's helped me, you know, to just not be, you know, for me, reading off a teleprompter would be like this, you know, and it's just like, just be sincere and get the message. But yeah, there's no replacing that, you know, video.
Whoa, what is going on here?
I don't know. Alicia has a
Who's
question.
the machine, man.
Alicia's got a question for you, though. She said that live streaming freaks her out. She said, should I try doing it on my local channel before I launch my new channel? Just trying to get a little comfort level with the process.
So here's my question. Okay. So number one, like I said before, you're launching a new channel. Nobody's going to see you at the beginning. So what you get to worry about? And honestly, if you just, you know, I've heard people, and this sounds silly, but you can take a piece of paper and put it around the camera lens and be like a person's face or something like that, like something to distract you from the fact that you're looking at a camera, and literally just pretend you're talking to a friend or a client. That's it. Like you just talk to it. So don't let your mind think, oh my God, these could be thousands of people that look at my video. I'm speaking. You're not speaking in front of thousands of people. You're speaking in front of technically no one. So as long as you don't swear, lie, be inappropriate, burp or fart or whatever, you know, I mean, as long as you like don't break the golden rules, you're not going to fail. Like it's going to be fine.
I have burped on camera many a time.
Well, I get the mute button, right?
They don't care. They don't care. They're like, oh, she burps. I've had my cat fall in front of my like right in front of the camera, put his butt like right in the camera lens. People laugh, you know, like things.
They like it. It's real. It's real. It's live. So they're like, oh, this is awesome.
Okay, so here's my challenge. So Alicia, when you went on your first listing presentation, were you nervous? Probably. But were you less nervous the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the 10th, the 20th?
Right.
Yeah.
It's repetition, man. It's just repetition. But you just got to just start. I would not, just because you're nervous, that wouldn't be a good reason, because it's still putting content out. And as long as you're putting content out with the live stream, you're sending that message to YouTube that you're and that content aligns with your avatar. It's just reinforcing that message to the algorithm on who you're trying to get in front of.
Yeah, so true. I think David is talking about if there's too many agents on YouTube. I'm just assuming that's what he's asking, but it says, does that apply to a certain market? My metro market has a ton of agents doing YouTube.
So yeah, my very, 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 very strong opinion. You guys know I have lots of strong opinion.
No, you never.
Nah.
So David O'Doherty, there is only one David O'Doherty in your market. There's only one. Nobody can be David O'Doherty. Nobody. So if it doesn't matter if there's 220 or 200 agents on YouTube in your market, you're the only David O'Doherty. And so you just got to, if you go show up and you just show up as you, not trying to be that canned agent with the canned message and the canned content, but you put your own spin and your own personality into it, that's all you need. That is all you need. And people will see that in sincerity, hands down. But I truly, truly, truly don't believe that there's competition, because the other thing is, this is what I told my daughter just graduated college. Okay. And she's an artist. She's an illustrator. It's a very challenging field. It's a very competitive field. And I said to her, she's nervous about going to the world and all the things that college kids do after they graduate. And I said to her, I said, you know what? And she's very, you know, her artwork, I put on Instagram and everything else. She's crazy talented. But I said, you don't have to be the most talented artist in the room. You don't have to be the best artist in the room. I said, you just got to outwork everybody. Period. You just need to outwork. So I would say that to you, David O'Doherty. You don't have to be the best YouTuber. You don't have to be Alicia. You don't have to be the best live streamer. You don't have to be the best. You just got to outwork. You got to, all those other agents that you're competing, they're going to do it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then they're going to get busy. They're going to die off.
Yep.
And then they'll come back to it, but their channel has no traction because they weren't consistent.
Do
it every week. You do it with consistency. The whole, you know.
The other one that people always get tied up on are like, oh, I'm not young, I can't do YouTube. But I'm like, I'm over 50. I don't even want to hear it. Zip it. They're like, only young people get traction on YouTube. I'm like, you're out of your mind.
Yeah, no.
You are out of your mind. When people say that, I'm like, you're making an obstacle that does not exist on YouTube.
Especially in real estate. Like real estate, it's like, man, like that's so many different age groups that you can hit. Like that's
100%.
The thing is that here's the thing is it comes down to this is that a lot of times people just don't understand how big YouTube really is. It's like huge. That's the thing. They're like, my local market, whatever. And then all of a sudden when you realize what billions and billions of views per day are, like that's like that number is incomprehensible. So I think that's the problem is they see what their friend down the road is doing, and then they run into this. Well, I can't make any more. What's the big ones that they do, like versus or the
pros and cons?
Pros and cons. Like I can only do so many pros and cons, and like that. That is exactly why we do what we do. Is because we want people to realize that there is such a blue ocean. There's so much opportunity on YouTube. You just have to understand a few things, and you can, like, if you're a student of YouTube, you can figure it out, or you can get on the freeway and learn quickly how to do it, just like Jen did. And that a big part of that is knowing what to do and then executing it. And I love what you said, Jen, where you said you have to outwork them. Like this is something that you've got to be committed. And if you want success, you have to be committed. But I absolutely love what you said, because that's the biggest thing. And if anyone is like, oh, I think it's oversaturated, come to Vid Summit. Come to Vid Summit, and then your mind will be blown.
How many old people there are versus young people? It's not a young people's. I mean, there's a lot of young people there, but I'm like, I'm not the oldest one in the room.
Yeah,
a lot of people older than me, but so I wanted
to marketers. They're the marketers that are behind the scenes too. You know, a lot of those.
Yeah, 100%. So here's another thought that I had with David had said about the oversaturated market and stuff like that. Okay, so I've had two leads from San Francisco in the last couple of weeks. Okay, how many real estate agents are in San Francisco? How many people in San Francisco that might be doing YouTube, and yet they reached out to me?
So, where are you again, Jen?
And I'm in Massachusetts.
Massachusetts?
They reached out to me, which is always like, I'm like trying to coordinate the time, calls and whatever, but they reached out to me. And so that's like proof that the saturation of the market doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You just got to make the good content for the right people, and they'll find you. Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Because they're looking, because they need information, and YouTube is a place where you find everything. And so if they're wanting to learn more about real estate, want to learn more about relocating, learn more about all these things, and you provide that good content, just like Jen is talking about, like she's very particular on how she does her research so that she knows what she's talking about. That makes a huge difference, and people can sense that. Plus, as you deliver that and as you put it together in a way that keeps them engaged, like all these little teeny things that people don't really think about when making a video, but they matter on how you provide value. And then it's a real no-brainer for them to reach out and go, man, you provided so much value for me. Thank you so much. I want to talk to you. You sound like you know exactly what you're doing.
It always cracks me up. It every time it cracks me up because I'll open up my comments and I'll get a bunch of just, especially like on the commission video, people I just got berated, you don't know what realtors are useless and all the things. And some of my DIY, videos, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. And then right after that will be 3, 4, 5. Jen, this was awesome. Jen, this was invaluable. Jen, the education was great. Like, I was so appreciative, blah, 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 blah. And it's like they're my audience. Those other people, whatever, they're not my audience. They're just whatever they are, but it's amazing that, and those people might go on other channels, but it's everyone's, I don't know, everyone's different. Everyone's different. So it's just interesting. So.
Well, and sometimes you just, no matter what you say, they're just mad at themselves and have a place that they want to vent. That is one thing that, like, also when you start growing and getting more exposure, is that's a real thing that you have to learn how to, like, almost get a little thicker skin and disconnect a little bit from comments, because people are mean. People are really mean. Well,
especially right now. We're in the crosshairs. Period. And we will be for some time. For the foreseeable future, we're going to be in the crosshairs. So, but you know what? The people that are worthwhile, I mean, regardless of those crosshairs, I still have the leads coming in, which sends the message that there are, yes, the squeaky wheel, is the one that gets the attention, but that doesn't take away from the people that do value what we do value, what I'm saying, and trust me enough to reach out. So you do have to put blinders on. You got to put blinders on. You just got to say, you keep, you put your goal, put a piece of paper on the wall, put a thing on the camera. You got to do whatever works for you and just say, this is the way I want to generate business, but I want to do it through, good education. And I want to help people. That's the thing, is you just got to lead with that. You got to lead with not, agents and market and leads. And you just have to say, you know what, I want to do this to get my voice out.
You want to help people.
I want to help people.
Do you want to help somebody with their channel? Because we have some channel reviews. Would you like to help?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Right, baby.
All right, look, we have Day Sells Detroit. And this is her channel banner. It says Day Sells Detroit. She has her logo here, EXP and Black Label Access. This is her profile picture, and it looks like she's been on YouTube now since 2007. So is there any advice you'd like to give her?
Well, I would say just for starters, I mean, the banners, there's too much going on the banners, stuff, all the EXP stuff and Black Label. There's no clear message on what the channel's about.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a lot of real estate stuff. And, right out of the gate, one of the things that you guys teach is you got to make it about the viewer. Everything's got to be about the viewer, everything. So the banner's got to be, your value statement to the viewer. The very beginning, the description of the channel you do not lead with what about you lead about what the description, like what is the value add for your particular viewer. So that's what I would probably, change that up.
And you're right, because she's so instead of it talking about herself here in this about section, she should talk about what they're going to get from the channel itself, the value from the content that she creates. Right.
Yes, ma'am.
I like it. I do like her profile picture, and I like her the channel name too.
Yes.
I like that. All right, let's look at something else. Would you like to give her some more advice here?
Yeah, there's just right out of the gate. And this is just, I mean, you don't know what your audience resonates with, because every audience is different, right? But right out of the gate, the thumbnails to me are a little overwhelming. The too many words, too much going on, too much information. You don't need to deliver the same information on the thumbnail as you do in the title.
Right.
It's, it's oversaid.
Right. So don't repeat the title of the video on the thumbnail itself. You want to give some power on there.
What is your take on like that? The one that she just said about the first one there, the gun owners, gun collection. What's your opinion on that, about that content?
It depends on the audience.
It depends on the avatar and depends on where you're at. You may be in Idaho or somewhere in Texas or something where they like a big selling feature is a in ground indoor shooting range. Like there's lots of it. So it all goes back to who your avatar is. If she's in Detroit and there's a lot of violence and stuff like that, like you have to kind of go through and really understand who you're talking to, because that may turn a lot of people off.
But it might be something that they like. The thing I'll say about this particular thumbnail though is that, like you were saying earlier about the words at the bottom, the words are so small
you can't even read it.
You can't even read it, and not only that, the timestamp is cutting off the last word altogether. I would revamp this whole thing.
Yeah, one of the things that she could do on almost every single one of them is make herself much bigger.
Yeah, just go with the from here up, right? I noticed that with a lot of real estate thumbnails is it's too zoomed out.
A lot of it is, I think, because they want to get so much information on the thumbnail instead of realizing like, hey, let's get, she does a lot of gun content actually.
Yeah, I'm wondering. This is curious to me. I didn't know if maybe this was. Oh, so it's always been a real estate channel, but it looks like she's kind of confusing who
Clean
her avatar
with me. So she's also doing. So look at that. Go to that. Go up and to the far right. Clean with me. SMP. Is she click on that? Is she doing like a like?
I think she's using this almost like how you would do on Instagram instead of using it as a YouTube channel.
Yeah, she's talking a lot about firearms and safety and concealed carry stuff that doesn't have to do with real estate.
Correct.
So, and again, this is 2 years ago, so maybe she got her license and then it was like, but I don't know. Then
no, because look, these are her oldest ones. Hold on, this is selling real estate. This is
so that's probably one of the very first things is you need to figure out, like, are you a gun review and concealed carry permit channel, or are you a real estate agent?
So that was exactly what I was going to say when you zoomed in there, and I could actually see what the content was. There's too many. There's too vague. Like YouTube has no idea who to serve your content to.
Yep.
And that's why you're not getting the views that you probably should be getting, is because you're trying to feed too many mouths here. You know what I mean? You're trying to please too many people. Yeah. So it's you've got home tours, you've got some vlog stuff, you've got some real estate stuff, and it's just
unboxing, reveals.
Too many. It's too many, and that was the thing that helped me tremendously, is just really narrowing down and just talking to I don't talk to buyers, I talk to sellers, I talk to specific type of sellers, but you got to I think she needs to narrow it down.
Yep. If you're trying to please everybody, you end up pleasing nobody.
Yeah. You definitely will stunt like how much growth you can get, for sure.
Yep. All right.
We have another channel, but really quick, Alicia asked another question. So I think it's a great question.
If when you get local buyers, sellers contacting you, Jen, are you okay with referring them to a trusted colleague? Would you be deterred not being able to work with you directly? I 100% would be okay with referring them out.
Well, would they be deterred? I think they're saying.
Would they be? I think, you know what? I think that I have not, I'm going to cross that bridge when I get to it, because I'm not full-time yet. So at this point, somebody does approach me, and I haven't had anybody, I haven't had any leads from my area on my new channel as to date. So, but I will cross that bridge. But you know what? I've talked to a lot of different a lot of people do that. Whether it be YouTube or another lead generation source, if a lead comes in and they're like a team lead, then it goes to a team. And that's the thing. You just frame it that you have a team.
Yep.
And it's maybe a couple agents in my office that are designated, and then it'll be passed off to them. But not to the point where, let them know that I'm still, here in the event if you have any questions. But yeah, it's just all in how you frame it.
It's no different than any other way that you would do any kind of, like, if you have a team handing off things. It's exactly how you, like Jen says, how you frame it, how you present it, how the questions are, and it's more of, I'm helping you, I'm doing you a favor, and these people are perfect. They handle this area specifically, and I trust them on all that. So handing off isn't as big of a deal, I think, is as long as you don't make it a big deal. It's like when you go for a listing, and you're like so nervous to like tell them what your fee is, that then like you talk yourself out of it because you're like so nervous. And then you get to the point where you're like, this is my fee, like, this is how we do it. This is why. You add up the value of what it is, and then it's no big deal. And a lot of times it's no big deal to them either. You just have made it a big deal because you're so worried about it.
Correct. I think the thing is when you're referring business out, you just let them know that you're not, that you care about them.
Right.
That you care about them, that you think that they're going to be better served with this other person, but you're not disappearing.
Yeah. I'm going to follow up with you. I'm going to follow up with the agent. I'm going to be following up with you.
And then people just want to feel like they're being taken care of,
Yep. All right, we're on to our next channel review here. It's living in Truckee, Tahoe. I hope I said that name right. Truckee, Tahoe real estate.
I would say Truckee, Tahoe.
Truckee, Tahoe.
1,000 videos. He said he's a busy guy. 1,000 videos. Whew.
Yeah. 1,000 videos. That is a lot. All right. He's got his channel banner there. Is there anything you want to say about the banner, Joe and Jen? Joe and Jen.
Go ahead, Jen.
Yeah, just the same thing. It seems like there's a lot of as you guys always say, you just got to clean it up. And, you don't need to subscribe now. You don't need all the YouTube stuff. The telephone numbers and all that stuff, and the little Facebook, emblems and all that stuff. And you don't need all that stuff. We would tell you to remove the subscribe now and actually put a QR code there. Oh, there you go. There you go.
So it says, are you interested in all things regarding Lake Tahoe Truckee real estate? Every time I hear Truckee, I think Ricky Ticky Tabby. Okay. Welcome to my channel. I would even move this down a little bit more. I would just make this a little bit more towards the person watching. But this is not a bad about section.
Yeah, literally, you could just swap that welcome to and in this channel just like that, and it'd be more value proposition. I would just elaborate. You say, are you interested in all things regarding Lake Tahoe? You're in the right place. On this channel, you'll get blank content. Like, tell them what they're going to see on this channel. Yeah.
Right.
Because you're in the right place, and then there's nothing. So I would elaborate on what exactly they can expect to see.
And I'm going to give you a little.
Yeah, get those out of there. Those links out of there.
Everybody does this because they give you that option to put this on YouTube, to put in all these other social media links. Unless you have a huge following on these places, don't take them off of YouTube to go visit your Facebook page unless you have a huge audience that is really active. There's no reason to put them there. The only time you want to take them off of YouTube is to fill out a form. So it looks like you have a contact form here. All these other things are irrelevant as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. And just to kind of further go on to that point, we found out recently that when you try to share a YouTube link on Facebook, the hyperlink doesn't even work.
Sometimes it's been very iffy lately. Today it actually worked, but last week it didn't work.
So the goal is to keep you on the platform, and they want people on Facebook to stay on Facebook, YouTube to stay on YouTube. So again, it's not worth moving them away, especially if you got them to your channel.
That would be one thing that I would, just as a side note, when I launch my channel, I absolutely 100% to date have not shared my videos anywhere.
Yep.
100%, nothing gets shared. I will, share my my channel. I send out a monthly newsletter, my database, so on and so forth, and my channel on there, but I don't share any videos anywhere. Everything's organic. Everything's organic. And that helps.
It does.
So we're looking at his thumbnails here. I'm gonna tell you the same thing that Jen had told the last channel. You got a lot of words going on here, and the thumbnail isn't really telling the story of what the video is about. This would probably be the closest one, the one you did about 2 months ago. And I would take down all this like logo stuff. No one is going to identify with that. I would show more about the actual modular home. Do you know what? Honestly, if you just left it the modular home and took all that other stuff off of it, you probably get a lot more people clicking on it.
You know what? And if you have home tours, if you're going to be doing home tours, I would that first video, that third video, I would take that title, shorten it down. You want to make it less than max less than 60 characters, right? You see that ... The titles are too long. So short, but at the very beginning of the title, just put home tour, because there's a lot of people that just love watching home tours. And that in itself could cause somebody to stop and click on it. But just write home tour and write the address, as opposed to because it's confusing on well, what exactly am I going to, what exactly is the value of this video? What is this video about?
Yeah, I'm interested to see what his older content was. I actually like these thumbnails, these more simple thumbnails, better than what you have going on now. The one from 6 years ago and 5 years ago, they're easy for the eye to read. But when you get into these, they're very difficult for the eye to read.
Yep.
Like this is really difficult. And you got so much stuff on there.
When I make my thumbnails, I literally shrink them down to this size before I give it the okay, because I pretend that somebody's looking at it on a phone. Can someone make out the details of this thumbnail on their phone? And that's the thing that helps figure out whether you've got too much stuff going on.
Joe has to dip, so I just threw him in the back. He's got a little appointment. Yeah. So he's got to go. I just threw him out. I'm like, that's it. Go away, Joe. Poor Joe. Well, I think this is a great place for us to stop. I think everybody can get some really good tips from there. Jen, I can't tell you how incredibly proud I am of you and how the work that you've put into your channel and the dedication that you've put into it. The fruits of your labor are obvious because you really did dedicate the time to it. It wasn't a fluke that you got to where you're at so quickly. And not everybody's going to be able to do that. But if you follow what Joe and I tell you to do, you too could be just like Jen Sylvester.
I don't want to be just like me. No. There's only one Jen, just one Jen.
You can have that kind of success.
Yes.
And I know it's hard, especially when you've been trained before. And you have to unlearn a lot of things that you've learned. And you were willing to do that. And that I want to say thank you. You make me look good.
Oh, well, I thank you guys, because let me tell you, it's the knowledge that you guys shared, to me, through the course, that, there's no luck with the algorithm. The algorithm doesn't, play favorites and all the things. Everything's intentional. And you guys gave me the right direction so I can make the right decisions to get me to the place where I'm at now. So it wasn't like I don't feel like I'm lucky. I don't feel like it's like, it may be on a different day wouldn't have happened. It's like, no, it was just the path that I made sure that I stayed on the path. And I appreciate the fact that you guys shared what and continue to share your wisdom, pearls of wisdom. So everybody in the course knows that.
we like sharing stuff.
Nope.
And-
100%. They know what they're talking about, people.
If you're interested in Joe and I's course right here, or you want to have a channel like Jen, you can go to the Real Estate Video Geeks right here and just fill out the form, and you can be a member of our group. Matter of fact, if you don't know, Jen, you may not know this, but Joe and I are actually working on, and we're about to release a thumbnail course. So if you're wanting to just improve your thumbnail game, we're going to be having that come out very soon. You can sign up for the wait list on that. But that's everything is on the website, realestatevideogeeks.com. All right, Miss Jen. Thank you, everybody, for stopping in. You know, after this is published, do you have any more questions? Joe and I will be answering them in the comments section. So
Get out there, make some videos, get some videos, do it, just do it. Dive in.
We should put some music on before we go. What do you think?
Yes, please.
All right. You didn't like this song, but we're gonna put it on anyway. Let's see if it's not. Let's hope it's not corny.
I got a song. I can put a song on.
This is too corny. This sounds. This one's too. I don't like that one either. Here we go. This is happy.
Oh, jeez.
Does this sound like a kid's game?